What's up, everybody? Peace, peace, peace. The ones are in the building. Going through the cyberverse, aka Neo's going through the cyberverse. Yeah, we're gonna wait to see who chimes in real quick. Fire topic tonight. You know, y'all might want to get your popcorn out. Get your popcorn out, man. Get your pens and pads. You know, your iPads, your digital pad, your physical pad, your mental pad, your soulful pad, whatever pad you got. I was gonna say another pad, but I was gonna make a joke, but you know what I mean. It's United Futuritarians. It's the activated AF1, Alpha 1. Wait for some of the Futuritarians to chime in real quick. Yeah, it's going to be a good topic tonight, man. This topic right here, it's not on Google, it's not on Siri, it's not on Alexa, it's not on any books, it's not from any teacher. This is straight intel from the future, from our future selves, from the upper dimensions. The topic tonight is going to be Fly Zone, the protection of the gods. Fly Zone, the protection of the gods will be the topic tonight. Give me another couple of minutes and I'm gonna get straight into it. We're gonna break it down. This United Futuritarians. You can Google it. If you feel that you want to be a part of a council, not an organization. We're not an organization. We're not quote unquote movement. But what does movement mean? Movement means mint short for what? Mind. So we are a movement when it comes to moving the mind, keeping the mind going. Not settling for a master's degree, not settling for 4 years of college, not settling for 8 years of college, not settling for survival, but never settling for something. Just keep going for the next generation that's up and coming after us. It's the reason why we call ourselves the Futuritarians, because we know who the future is. And you see a lot of these commercials, and a lot of these corporations are starting to talk about the future a lot, you know, because they already know. They know who's came back. They know what souls that came back for the portal. They're starting to figure it out. They're starting to figure out that the activated ones is coming back slowly but for surely. That's because we live in the 3D realm, and you're dealing with time. You're dealing with tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. You can't manipulate time. You can't manipulate time unless you're on a whole mental level. So, wait for a second. I'm going to get straight into it. Excuse me for a second, y'all. All right, getting straight into it. It's activated F1. Topic is Fly Zone, protection of the gods. And a lot of people will be like, what do you mean by that, AF1? What do you mean by protection of the gods? Who are the gods, right? Now, when you break it down, you go into dimensions, on a dimension state. When you break it down dimensions, each dimension has your soul in it. So if you get stuck somewhere and you have to go read a book, or you have to go get a validation point from somebody, then that means you're not connected to all your souls in all those dimensions. That's what that means, right? So you're dealing with the fly zone, because I'm going to give y'all an example. This is right around when the start of activation, because we're the Futuritarians, so we deal with activating your junk DNA into DEA. That's what that is. They call it junk DNA because they know it was a strain that could be attached to you through the unseen. So the fly zone is a zone where stuff is flying around you. I'm talking about in the physical realm, and I'm talking about in the soulful realms. You got stuff flying around you, and that's the protection. The seen and the unseen. The unseen protection is the most lethalest one, because when you're dealing with Some people call people with souls holograms, right? What is a hologram? A hologram is something that's hollow. So when you say hologram, when you're dealing with the digital realm and the cyberverse, right? When they say hologram, it's not really processing to them that they're talking about something that's hollow, something that's empty. What is empty in them? They don't have a soul. They're not connected to none of their souls in the upper dimension. So that's what makes them soulless. That's why they're a hologram, because their soul is hollow. Their vessel is hollow. There's no spark. You don't get no frequency, that mental connection input from certain individuals that's walking among you. So that's why the fly zone is the most critical protection right now from the seen and the unseen is the fly zone. Now I'm gonna break it down. When the activation first started off, it was around 11 years ago. And you know, it's so critical because our number is the 11, the ones walking with the ones. When you're dealing with the quantum computer, 1110111001110, they're all codes. They're all codes, but when you look at that code, what's significant and what's not? Because that's the only thing that's walking around here is ones and zeros. That's it. What's significant and what's not? What could be used in the future? What's not going to be used in the future? And you go back to the Bible when they were talking about the Bible, the free will. Yeah, because some of the Bible is actually reality, right? But I always break that down because you deal with Bible, it means two. It means lies and truth. Bi means two, lies and truth. God and the devil, good and bad. So you have to look at it on that standpoint. So the fly zone. So back about 11, 12 years ago, when the internet started really popping with the conscious community, the internet started really popping with the conscious community. And that's when a lot of people started seeing weird stuff going on in their life. They started to see, certain things that was maybe evaporating, certain things that were in the sky, certain things that were in their house, outside their house, maybe at night, maybe when they walked to the park, maybe when they were driving out in the woods. You started to see certain things through that, because I was going through that about 11, 12 years ago, and I didn't know what it was, but now I figured it out. It was my future self. It's your future self trying to get your attention. Was A. Let me break down attention again for y'all. Was A. That's the one. That's why the A is first in the alphabet, because A equals 1. 10, what's 10? That's ones and zeros. 10, shin. Ones and zeros. What's the shin? They took the D out, and it's supposed to be 10, 10 dimensions. Attention. So they was trying to get the chosen one's attentions back in those days to get on the right path to move the planet forward for the youth and the souls that was coming through the portal that people ain't talking about no more. They was talking about it on 11/11. Then they stopped talking about it because when you're dealing with power, it's too much. It's too much for them to handle, too much to process. So they go back to the norm, which means normal. Everything that's normal to them. So going back to the no-fly zone, protection of the gods, because the gods is out here protected, bro. You got the creator, and then you have the gods, right? There's a chain of command. It's the same way what's going down here when you got a chain of command, dealing with the government, military, workplace, shoot, your own household. There's a chain of command in your own household. You got to follow the rules or follow the law, or there will be consequences for that, or you will have to face discipline, or both. Same way dealing with the gods, the protection, the fly zone, the protection of the gods. So when this stuff started happening 11 years ago, I started seeing these rappers, because I was seeing stuff in the sky, right? And I started seeing rappers say, this is a no-fly zone. This is a no-fly zone. And now that I'm activated, and I know that when you go back and look at it now, because I know they slave masters was telling them to say that stuff. It's so ironic because, a lot of these celebrities and stuff, they got a massa. They might as well just start dancing and stuff. What you want me to do again, massa? So I can get this damn so I can get this what they call that clothing line, massa. I get my clothing line. Yeah, you can have your clothing line. Here go massa. Yeah, you can have your clothing line. Oh yeah. But there's a couple of things you can't do. What's that? You can't open up no banks. You can't make no schools unless our doctrines are in there and our curriculums. What? Yeah. That's the main two things you can't do. But here's your 50 million contract though. Oh, thank massa. You know how them Sambos be dancing for massa back in the day? Yeah. And it was so funny because this lady was on Facebook and she's like, she had a picture like all the mainstream rappers. And she's like, if we put all this money together, this how slow some of our people are, man. You know what I'm saying? The activated ones have to come back from the future to hit y'all upside the head to let you know how slow y'all are. And some of y'all got master's degrees. They got all this money. Look, that's over, maybe sitting right there is over $3-4 billion. If they all just get together, we could open up our own schools. Yeah, they ain't letting them do that. Allegedly, it's in their contracts. They can't open up no banks in those schools. Allegedly, it's in their contract. They can't open up no banks in those schools. So good luck with that. But, you know, when you're dealing with people that's not activated, they don't understand that aspect. The aspect of ones coming out the wombs, those ones that's coming out the wombs, being taught with what curriculum? Grooming them at an early age. Grooming them at an early age. So then you got, all right, going back to the topic. Yeah, it's the activated AF1. We are the United Futuritarians. And going back to the topic, the fly zone, right? Because you got the unseen fly zones. I'm gonna give y'all an example about the seen and the unseen. One of the unseen fly zones was when you go back to World War II, they had the German and American pilots were seeing these balls of light called Foo Fighters, right? So they were seeing the Foo Fighters, this ball of light that was going around flying. There was, I don't know, might have been escorts. They might have been, you know, supervising an escort, but it's the seen and the unseen, man. This right here is real critical right now, that people get their soul right. And, you know, you go on the internet. I was just on the internet today and I'm listening to these teachers. They still talking about the physical stuff. Land, gold, money, reparations. What's that going to do? You need to be talking about the soul. You need to be talking about this, the mind. Because look at all the billionaires that's out here right now. That so-called carbon beans. Right? They still ain't in power though. Power comes here. It never came here. Never. And it's not going to. Never. It's not going to. Moving as a collective unit. The ones. That's why we call ourselves the ones. Because if you want to hit up a gang sign, it need to be this. If you want to hit up a gang sign, it need to be this. The one. That's it. When you start adding other fingers, that starts causing confusion. You need to stay with that one. That's the only thing you need to be hitting up. Then you're dealing with the neural cortex. When it was hitting up the neural cortex, our ancestors, they took that from our ancestors. That's why you see these people that's running the planet right now. They hit that up, and they call it they call it Satanism and all that stuff. Yeah, they turned it into that. They took our signs. They took our signs, and in the future we're gonna get them back. This means antennas, receivers. Remember the old school antennas on your TV? When it was pulling in what? It was pulling in receptions from what? Different frequencies. Being on top of pulling in all the frequencies. That's why they hit that up. And they tell you it's evil. They tell you it's evil, and they tell you it's Satan and all that stuff, because it's dealing with your neural cortex. Your neural cortex in your head is an antenna. It can tap into different frequencies, just like a TV. When when you have a TV, you can turn to channel 1, right? Channel 2, channel 11, channel 144. That is the physical frequencies. There's organic frequencies that you can tap into. And they're unlimited frequencies that you can tap into. So that's why when they hit this up, they took that from our ancestors, right? And told you it was evil, it was Satan, it was all that. No, they're just showing you that they just took. Go back and look at all the archives they took from South America and they took from Africa. I don't leave South America out. People talk about Africa, but they forget about South America. One of the main regions in on this planet is South America. That's facts. That's facts. And a lot of the golden beans came from South America. When you're dealing with the Africans, if you really look at the Africans, right? Now, when you go to their hair texture and all that stuff, right? Some of our people are amongst the Africans because we were dealing with the Olmecs, the Aztecs, the Incas, the Mayas, and all that, right? We wasn't even, some of our people were in Africa too, but a lot of our people was in Egypt, right? Back in the day, and spread it out. The Africans, they have a different genetic code in them, right? The genetic code is so strong. That's why a lot of the Africans, when they come over here, they don't like messing with golden beans. You know why? It's because they have a genetic code in him. They have a genetic code in them that's telling them they don't like us. This, you know. So now you gotta really think about that. Thinking about genetics. Cause me and the Futuritarians, man, we sit there, we could look from conversations, peace, power, and soul, brother Aso, Apawakupa, to the brother Aso that came up, Aso Rising that came up in the building. But going back to genetics and going back to the man last, since people want to talk about the physical realm, right? Actually, South America still has more resources than Africa. You know why? Because Africa's been getting milked. The Americas was always number one. Let's get that put on the table right now. The Americas was always number one when our people was over here. You know what I'm saying? Our people was already over here. Our people was over here before the Moors came over here from Spain. Our people were over here. The copper-coated beans. Going back, it's the same. When you're going back, all right, I'll make this example, right? When you're dealing with overcarbonated beans, right? I always give the example of the Goldilocks zone. So the planet's in the Goldilocks zone, right? But if it was in the zone where Mars was at, right? Venus, Mercury, what will happen? It'll have too much rays. It'll be too much carbon on the planet. If you have too much, what happens? It's death. I watch this stuff on TV all the time, and people can't fathom this stuff because people think it's about skin color, and it's about the carbon coating. It's a code. The carbon coding, not coding, code. It's a genetic code that could be unlocked. So going back to the topic, the fly zone. Yeah, back in the day, the rappers started talking about this is a no-fly zone because that was being pushed because the fly zones is really the protection zones. See, they do everything backwards. Y'all know this stuff dealing with the English language. A lot of stuff that dealing with the Greco-Roman priests and all that stuff. Everything's backwards, right? That's why they was pushing the no-fly zone, because they knew that fly zone was the zone that they didn't want you to know about. The fly zone, the protection of the gods, and that's what that is. It's the protection of the gods. You know what I mean? And some people get scared. They tap out and they go back to church. Whatever floats your boat, man. You want to tap out, go back, but they forget a lot. This is the main key, man. A lot of people that's out here, This is the main key what they forget. With the spirituality and all that stuff going on out here, they forget that they have a soul. You cannot kill a soul. There's this one cat, he was on TikTok. Y'all probably saw him, man. It was this white dude on TikTok, right? And he had a picture of what was it? I think it was Yahweh. He had a picture of Yahweh, right? And he was telling a story. Y'all might have seen this. It was on TikTok, Facebook. You could Google it too. And he was talking about how this cat came back from the future, man. And he was trying to talk to the the United Nations and stuff. And then, they ended up like killing him. And then like he came back. Like he just came back. So then they were like, don't quote me on this, but then they were like, well, yeah, he was like, we'll take you to United Nations. He wanted to talk to the whole, to the whole planet. Then they had put him on a plane. Then they killed him again, but then they cut his body up, man, and shredded up and put it in this little like nuclear thing and shredded it to ashes or something like that, right? Then he came back again, and he was like, all right, look, this is what I'm gonna do, man. He was like, there's more of us coming, right? People thinking on spaceships and stuff, man. They thinking like on spaceships and like, yeah, there's UFOs out there. There's unidentified flying objects. That's what a UFO is. It's an unidentified flying object. It could be anything up in the sky, right? That's thinking logically. See, people be watching Facebook and be on the cyberverse messing with Google, the gargoyles, the gargoyles. They be messing with that, man, and they can't go past it. Like that's why I said Siri and Alexa, Google, is coming down to be their gods, and they don't even know it. But you got a soul in each dimension. Each dimension you have a soul in. The reason why you go past people dealing with intelligence is because you're tapping in. Once you tap into all your souls in that dimension, then that's what pulls in what's next from those dimensions. That's where you get inventions. That's why it's called inventions. It rhymes with dimensions. Inventions rhymes with dimensions because you have to pull in something next. That's why they can't, when you're dealing with these social media websites, that's why they can't dispute the Futuritarians when we telling y'all stuff that y'all can't Google. The reason why they can't dispute it is because all we gotta do is tell our lawyer, look, was it when did the airplane come out? Oh, it came out in such and such, such and such. Okay, 20 years from that, was there an airplane? No. So what you mean that intelligence ain't real? Whoopsie! They'll lose. So that's why I had to, intelligence over everything. I saw you right. Intelligence over everything. And then people just gonna have to fathom it, man. And there's still people. We had a couple of teachers come over here that y'all know on the internet, took our stuff, and they started talking about activation. They was talking about activation, and it's so funny because then they stopped talking about it. The whole point I'm making is like once you talk about activation and they try to break it down, like activation, it keeps going because you're activated. When you watch the movies, they're like, activate this, activate that, right? When you activate the mind, it can't be shut off. It just keeps going. It just keeps going and going and going, activating that junk DNA into DEA, like the brother Aso had broke down. Why you think they called it junk? Because they knew we was going to come back from the future and let y'all know that was a strain that could be attached to you through the unseen. Uh-oh. Souls through the portal. The fly zones, man. Even on a nano level, there's a fly zone. Right? There's a fly zone on a nano level. Counteracting. There'd be some weird stuff going on. Next thing you know, I'll give y'all an example, man. I was downtown. I be seeing weird stuff right now, right? Walking as one of the true chosen ones on the planet. It was a situation. Guy was across the street, right? They were arguing. I'm downtown. They're arguing. They must have been ops or something like that. Dude pulls a gun out. Now, when he pulled a gun out on him, I'm across the street just watching this stuff. He pulled a gun out on him. One police officer pulled up from this way. One just hit the corner. Another one was coming down the street. The same time this dude pulled the gun out. Then he was talking, but when he saw the first one, he was like, oh shit. And he put the gun back up. And then the whole point I'm making is, man, like, I see stuff like that every day, man. That's the unseen, the fly zone. That's what the fly zone is. That's the unseen. I'm not saying don't be walking around lacking, not protecting yourself or protecting your family, but I'm just saying I've seen a lot of stuff within the last 10 to 11 years. I've seen a lot of stuff that was spur of the moment stuff, that something like that happened, where some stuff was about to pop off. Next thing, then nobody even called the police. Nobody called them. It was instant. It was like he pulled it out, and like 5 seconds later, police, the one police pulled up from that, but he was facing this way. Dude was standing here. Then the other one came from this way, and the other one was coming down. All three of them at one time. I'm sitting there looking at the stuff like, yep, the unseen, the seen, and the unseen. Dealing with the fly zone, man. You know, then you got the no-fly zone. The no-fly zone, that's the zone that people glorify, because a lot of people that's dealing with the hierarchies, the cats that's really knowing about a lot of the stuff that we talking about, yeah, they had the rappers pushing the no-fly zone. They had the rappers pushing I don't know if y'all remember that. It was about probably like 9 years ago. They were pushing the no-fly zone. But see, that's what modern day slaves do. Them good Sambo Joes, that's what they do, man. Man, as long as they got that bag. And it's sad, man. Some of these copper-coated beans, man, do anything for a bag. That's sad, man. You know, because, man, in the future, that's what I said, man. In the future, it's not going to look good. For thugs, gangbangers, and all that stuff, it's not going to look good, man. In the future, they're going to go to trial, and then people are just going to cut their head off in the middle of the street. It's going to be just right there. Because that's how sick gangbanging and all these thugs, that's what it's coming to. It's going to be a trial, and then off with the head. Clean. Head coming clean straight off. Shoo-hoo! We ain't got time to be messing with no people that's terrorizing the community, manipulating our children, walking around not respecting life. I'm gonna give y'all an example about these wannabe Care Bear Negroes. These Care Bear Negroes. I'm gonna give you an example. I was just watching this thing today on YouTube. It was called, I think it's called Self-Action Protection Program on YouTube channel. And I've been watching that for years. You know, he always go through like shootings and stuff and break stuff down and what you can do, what you can't do. If you kill this person doing this, you might still end up getting life. It was this brother. He was just in a domestic dispute, right? His girlfriend calls 911, hangs up the phone. You know the police is coming. She ends up getting to the phone again, and all you hear is help, help. Phone hangs up again. But she gave a description of her boyfriend, right? So now the police knows the area of where the phone call came, so they're all riding through the neighborhood looking for this guy with the description. So they find him. Police pulls up, body cam on. He's like, hey, come here, sir. Dude, brother takes off running with the gun in his hand. He's running. Police didn't even shoot him because the backstop. It was too many people. He was running in front of, where he was running was towards people, so the police couldn't really shoot him right there because the backstop was people behind him. So you're dealing with the backstop. So then he turned into this, like where this fence and this bush was, and the police gave him multiple warnings to drop the gun. Didn't want to drop the gun. Police shot him once. Boom. He falls. The police starts to proceed towards him. He doesn't shoot him again. This dude still got the gun in his hand. I'm like, oh, he just want to get killed by the cops. He just want to do suicide by cop by now. So that's what I'm thinking. So then he's on his knees facing away from the police and tried to lift the gun backwards like this to shoot at the police. So the police shot him once again. Boom. Right? He throws the gun finally. Police goes up to him. This is the funny thing about these thug wannabe ass Negroes, right? This is the funny thing. When the police gets up to him, right? You done beat up your girlfriend, and in the police report it says she got beat up brutally. He pistol whipped her, beat her up brutally. He told the police officer was like, put your hands behind your back. This dude grabbed his phone and said, hold on, let me call my mama, please. You can't make this stuff up, man. He said, hold on, let me call my mama. He done got them two hot holes in him. That stuff was burning too. Oh, that smell of cooked flesh. Oh, that ain't good, man. That smell of cooked flesh, man. He survived too. You know, lucky the police officer wasn't no dirty ass police officer, and he got lucky, man. Because if that was one of them dirty police officers, he would have been finished. Because he only shot him twice, and he had a gun. You know them dirty ones, they would have put at least 9 in them, minimum. Probably 9 or more than that, you know. Probably been nice and put at least 6 in them or something, you know. But the whole point I'm making is you supposed to be this thug ass dude, all this and all that. But soon as the stuff hit the fan, right, you looking for your mama. You want to call your mom when you got 2 bullet holes in you and the police behind you with a gun trying to put handcuffs on you. You done beat your baby mom. She probably had to have face surgery because you done pistol whipped her like a coward. And now you want to call your mom? That's why I said in the future, man, all these thugs and these gangbangers, man. Wait, man. Trial ain't gonna look good for them, man. It ain't gonna look good for them, man. It's gonna be trial on the spot, and then their heads coming clean the hell off. And this is for the youth. I hope kids see this video because I want them to see this video. And that's what the future is going to bring. Because people in the communities, man, terrorizing the communities, they sick of that stuff. I just had to bring it up as a point because that's some futuristic stuff because we are the futuritarians, so we have to bring y'all some future stuff. But back to the topic, the fly zone. The fly zone is the unseen. The unseen is putting in the most work than the seen because the unseen can control the scene. So if you see something in the air, if you see something going on, remember the unseen is always in control. Always in control. So always remember that. And let me read some of this stuff here real quick. Yep, the gatekeepers, like I saw break down. Yeah, the gatekeepers. They're trying to keep the gate from them. They're trying to stop the souls from coming through the portal. That's what they're really trying to do. They're trying to stop anything they can do to stop the souls to come through the portal. But you know, some of them, you got the touchables and you got the untouchables. See, we live in a dualistic society. You know what I mean? God, devil, bad, good. You know, touchables, untouchables. This is a dualistic realm, this 3D realm. So you have to make a choice and figure out which one are you going to be? Which one are you going to be? So yep, I just had to break that down real quick. I do quick lives. I do a live every Thursday, but I'm trying to hold on. Give me 1 second, real quick. Let me see if I can figure this out. Oh, that ain't it. I can't figure this out. Anyway, I'll YouTube it or something to figure that out. But shout out to United Futuritarian Council seats, man. The brother Cosmos Unifresh, the brother Aso. Shout out to the brother Avery. And this is the live stream of the Fly Zone Protection of the Gods, because the Gods is your future self. That's who the Gods is. The Gods is your future self. That's who the Gods is. Now I'm not talking about the Creator. That's a difference. But the Gods is your future self dealing in the higher dimensions, tapping into all your selves in the upper dimensions. I was watching this one teacher from I think it was Black Magic, and they were trying to break down They broke down and said there was 144 dimensions, but that's a cap. Dimensions are, they just keep going. There is no cap on it. And he said you got an individual in each dimension. Like, who you think they got that from? And they starting to push that. I'm like, we was talking about that stuff 4 years ago. But don't want to say the source. Don't want to say the source where they're getting this stuff from. They're getting it from the Futuritarians. What you want to say? That's fact. That's facts. But I always bring it up because it's so funny. When I learn something from another person or another teacher, I give them credit for it. Sad, man. That's what we're living in. We're living in stealth greed. You know, stealth greed and all that stuff, man. But the unseen is working right now. The unseen is working right now. Dealing with the radiation, dealing with the radiation, Ra dimensions, Ra dimensions. So just want to talk about, man, the fly zone, the no-fly zone. Now going to the no-fly zone. The no-fly zone is basically a zone that is soulless. That's a soulless zone. Why do you think that the rappers were talking about the no-fly zone like 9 years ago? Because they have no soul. They're hollow. That's where once again, breaking it down, hologram. When people was talking about, you know, flat earth and all that stuff and holograms, hollow. They're hollow. Hollow means nothing inside you. There's no soul. That's what that means. There's no soul inside them. The holograms mean they're hollow inside, which hollow means no soul. That's what that means. Yup. So just breaking all that stuff down, man. We United Futuritarians. We go live. Well, I go live every Thursday at 8:30, between 8:30 and 8:45 CST on Facebook. You gotta check out the brother Aso's channel, the United Futuritarian Activation channel. Check out the brother Aso's channel. Then you got the Futuritarian Activation channel. You want to check that out too. Also, there's a lot of archives on there. The algorithms, and the I forgot what they call it, but they got us on pause because we're the 11. Our number is the 11. So what does 11 mean? We put stuff on pause. When we took that, I think we took a 3-month break with doing videos, man, and we was listening to these teachers, and we're like, they wasn't talking about nothing. Nothing that they wasn't talking about. Nothing you couldn't find on Google, Siri, and Alexa. Nothing you couldn't find on Google, Siri, and Alexa for 3 months. Then when we come back, all of a sudden, shoot, 2-3 months later, they're talking about, I said, look at this stuff, see? I told the Futuritarians, I said, see? Sad situation, man, but we're going to keep moving forward regardless. How you going to keep moving forward, AF1? Our souls are going to keep moving forward. Because it's not the physical realm. I warn everybody all the time, man. They talking about land, reparations, gold, titanium, houses. And you know what's so funny? These teachers on the internet, they'll never bring the soul up. Never. Because a fallen angel ain't gonna never pop up and be like, hey, I'm a fallen angel. They're gonna be real articulate, real smooth. They're gonna be real passive, assertive. Those are the ones you gotta find. I mean, those are the ones you really gotta watch. Some of the assertive, aggressive ones you gotta watch. But then you got the ones with the balance. What is a balance? It's equal. What's equal sign? If you turn the equal sign straight up, what is that? The 11. That's what our number is. Our number is the 11. The ones walking with ones, like the brother Aso be breaking down. But the brother Aso's going live this Friday, Saturday. Check out his Facebook page. He'll probably hit you with the time, sometime tomorrow. So check out his page, and also check out the United Futuritarian Activation channel page. Oh, okay. Yeah, yep. Yep, leaders walking with leaders, man. Why do you think these organizations, they always fall or get infiltrated? Why do you think we have to come back from the future? All these organizations, they fall like they get infiltrated. Because when I mean by fall, people think, when you mean by fall, you think that just because you still see them out here moving around and walking around, don't mean that it's still fit, they still haven't fallen. Just because you see them in a physical. I'm talking about on a soulful aspect. A soulful aspect. That's what I mean by fallen. The fallen angels. Because they out here now that we back, and they're all getting put on they all getting the veil pulled off of them. You know, because how you know, F1, how you know that the veil's getting pulled off of them? Because now we came back from the future and told you all that stuff that y'all been studying, religion, doctrines, Egypt, flat earth, reparations, gold, money, right? When you're dealing with the top dimensions, there's none of that up there. None. So I want to say peace, power, soul, and elevated activation. Shout out to the brother Aso. Shout out to the brother Cosmos Unifresh. Cosmos Unifresh is busy right now. He would have chimed in. Cosmos is always chiming in, so he would have chimed in. Shout out to the brother Avery. We are the United Futuritarians. Like I said, you can hit us up. If you want to shoot, you know, it's getting to a point now, since y'all want to pay everybody else, you want to pay, you know, the Futuritarians, you can hit the Cash App $Futuritarian. That's Cash App $Futuritarian. Since y'all paying everybody else, why don't y'all pay the top of the mind chain then? Because you have smarts, intelligence. You have information and receivers. People that are smart, people that are smart, you know, they're not going to receive nothing. They're not going to receive nothing. You know, you have to be really, really, really connected. And a lot of the stuff that they're coming out that's new, you already know they got that from our people, man. Copper coated beans, man. I ain't go on about that, but it don't matter. I'm going to say peace, power, and soul to the council. We are the United Futuritarians. I'm going to say Abba Wakuba. Apa Wakuba. And, you know, hit us up. Catch us next. We'll catch AF1 next Thursday, 8:30 between 8:45 Central Time. Right? Shout out to the brother Aso for popping in. I'm going to say peace, power, soul, elevated activation to the Futuritarians. Apa Wakupa.